Close your eyes and let the soft echoes of forgotten temples drift into your mind. Tonight, we wander through the ancient world where divine women stood as symbols of power, healing, mystery, and grace. Their stories are not told with thunder, but with whispers that soothe the restless heart. For 3 gentle hours, we will walk slowly through the paths of sacred cults, feeling the light of moonlit goddesses, the calm of priestesses, and the tender songs of women who were seen as bridges between earth and heaven. Their voices may be old, but their spirit still moves like a lullaby across time. Here, there is no hurry, only quiet rivers of memory guiding you into sleep. If these stories bring you peace, let me know where you are listening from. And if this journey helps you rest, you may choose to subscribe so that you can return to this sanctuary of sound whenever you need. The night is still. The air is soft. You drift gently into the space where story and dream meet, where memory and myth are carried like petals across a calm river. Far back in time, long before the stones of temples were lifted, long before the words of holy books were written, there were whispers of the sacred feminine. The first people looked to the sky, to the soil, to the waters that gave them life. And in all of these, they saw the form of a woman, the mother, the nourisher, the eternal womb of creation. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Imagine a wide desert plain at twilight. The stars have just awakened, scattered like silver seeds across the deepening sky. In the distance, fires glow where early humans gather. Their lives are fragile, their world untamed, and yet they feel a presence, a quiet guardian woven into the fabric of earth itself. They give her many names. They carve her shape into stone, clay, and bone. Her figure is round and full, carrying the promise of life. To them, she's not only a goddess, she is life itself. She is the womb of soil, the flow of rivers, the breast that feeds, the arms that cradle. You walk closer in your mind, toward one of these ancient circles of fire. You see women and men gathered together, watching sparks rise into the night. A small statue rests at the center. A mother figure, simple yet powerful. Her curves are wide, her face undefined, because she is not one woman, but all women, and beyond them, the whole earth. The people sing softly, their voices low, like a hum that rocks the night to sleep. They do not rush. They do not worry. They only offer thanks to the presence that holds them, the mother who is both seen and unseen. Breathe with them. Feel the slow rhythm of their chant as if it were your own heartbeat. Long before temples rose in stone, there were caves. Deep within the caves, the first artists drew with earth-colored pigments. They painted animals, rivers, stars, and among them, they painted women. The images glowed by torchlight, alive with mystery. To sit in those caves was to sit in the womb of the earth, warm and dark, sheltered, and eternal. Imagine that now. You are inside the earth's embrace, walls smooth and glowing with painted figures. A soft flame flickers, sending shadows that dance like spirits. It feels safe here, as though nothing outside can touch you. The sacred feminine was not only the giver of life, but also the keeper of cycles. The moon became her mirror, waxing and waning as women's bodies did, rising and falling as crops and seasons did. When people looked to the sky, they did not see cold light. They saw her face. They saw the soft circle of protection, the gentle reminder that even in darkness, light would return. And so, under the night sky, women became keepers of mysteries. They knew the rhythm of the body, the healing of herbs, the ways of birth and of care. Their knowledge was not written, but it flowed from mother to daughter, from elder to child, like water from a spring. Now picture yourself standing beside one of these ancient springs. The water is clear, moving gently over smooth stones. You hear its song, steady and calm, like a lullaby whispered only for you. This spring is sacred. To the people, it is the breath of the mother, the blood of the earth. Women gather here, washing, praying, offering small flowers. They know the water carries her blessing. You kneel and dip your hands in. The cool touch is soothing. The ripples spread slowly, as if carrying your own spirit outward into the stillness of the night. Everywhere in the ancient world, the image of the mother appeared. In the valleys of Mesopotamia, in the deserts of Egypt, in the fields of Europe, in the forests of Asia. Different names, different forms, yet always the same presence. The woman who creates, nourishes, and protects. Sometimes she is gentle, a mother with open arms. Sometimes she is fierce, a lioness who guards her children. Sometimes she is silent, a stone statue hidden in the earth, but always she is near. Now listen. The night wind moves softly through the grass, a fire flickers, and voices rise in story. An elder tells of the first dawn, when the earth was empty, and from the silence, the mother rose. She spread her arms wide, and the sky was formed. She opened her hands, and rivers began to flow. From her breath came wind, from her tears came rain, and from her womb, the first children stepped into the light. You feel the calm weight of this story, like a blanket of stars drawn over you. The elder's voice is slow, steady like waves upon the shore. The listener's eyes grow heavy, for the story is not just a tale, it is a lullaby for the soul. Time passes. Generations rise and fall. Still, the memory of the divine woman remains. She is carved into temples, painted onto walls, sung in hymns and whispered in prayers. Sometimes she is worshipped in great rituals with drums and incense. Other times she is honored in silence, with a simple bowl of grain left at the hearth. Always she remains. Now drift with me into another scene, a wide field under the pale light of dawn. The grass is heavy with dew. In the center stands a circle of stones, smooth and ancient. Women walk slowly between them, carrying baskets of fruit and flowers. They place their gifts on the ground, bowing their heads in peace. A child giggles softly, chasing a butterfly. Even this small moment is seen as holy, for all life is part of her. The sacred feminine is not far away. She is the soil beneath your feet, the air you breathe, the pulse in your chest. She is not outside of life, but within it. She is the quiet whisper of continuity, the endless circle of beginnings and endings. Close your eyes again. Imagine her presence as a soft light, surrounding you, embracing you. This light does not judge, does not demand. It only comforts, as a mother comforts a child. Through thousands of years, through countless lands, the dawn of divine women has never truly faded. She still moves quietly, in stories, in rituals, in the silent memory of the earth itself. And when you rest, when you surrender to the deep quiet of night, it is her arms you feel. Vast, eternal, and kind. Let your breath slow. Let your body grow heavy, like a stone statue resting in the earth. Feel the timeless rhythm of the mother's song, steady and endless, carrying you deeper into peace. Now, the fires of the ancient camps burn low. The caves grow dark as torches fade. The songs of the priestesses drift into silence. Only the stars remain, keeping watch. And you, safe in her embrace, drift into the quiet that she has always offered. Rest now, as the dawn of divine women continues to glow, softly within you. Rest as the world grows silent. Rest as the stars return. The desert night is calm. The stars hang like lanterns above the vast plains of Mesopotamia. A faint wind drifts across the sand, carrying with it the scent of oil lamps and the distant murmur of prayers. You are entering a world of temples and dreams, a world where women held the sacred role of guiding hearts through song, vision, and silence. Softly, the scene opens before you. A temple rises from the earth, its mud brick walls glowing under the moonlight. Torches flicker at the gate. The air is heavy with incense, sweet, resinous, wrapping the senses like a gentle shawl. Inside, the priestesses of Sumer move with slow grace. Their steps are measured, their voices hushed, their eyes lowered in reverence. They are the keepers of memory. They are the interpreters of dreams. They are the singers of hymns that float into the night like tender lullabies. In this land, life and death are tied to the favor of the gods. The rivers flood, the crops rise, the sun burns, the storms descend, and between the fragile human heart and the vast mysteries of heaven stand the priestesses. They are bridges, women chosen to hear what others cannot hear, to speak what others cannot speak. Listen now. A soft chant drifts through the temple hall. It is not hurried, not loud. It moves like water over smooth stone, gentle, repeating, lulling. The words are ancient, carried through countless generations. The sound is both prayer and poem, both song and silence. The priestesses gather before an altar of shining stone. Upon it rests bread, fruit, and bowls of milk, offerings for Inanna, the radiant goddess of love and war, of life and death. The women bow low, their veils brushing the floor, their bodies swaying as though moved by the rhythm of an unseen river. Imagine yourself sitting in the shadows, watching the scene unfold. The oil lamps glow softly, their flames bending in the wind. The air is warm, filled with the hum of voices, the crackle of fire, the steady beat of a small drum. Each sound is slow, steady, soothing, as if the whole world is preparing to drift into sleep. The priestesses are more than singers. They are dream keepers. In the stillness of night, when men and women slept, they believed the gods spoke through dreams, and it was the sacred women who could read them, who could unravel their meanings like threads of silk. A dream of a bird could mean a journey. A dream of water could mean blessing. A dream of fire could mean change. In the silence, you picture one priestess. She sits in her chamber, the air scented with myrrh. A traveler kneels before her, his eyes weary, his voice trembling. He tells her of a dream, of standing at a river that parted in two. The priestess closes her eyes. She breathes slowly, deeply, as though she herself is standing at that river. She listens not only to the man's words, but to the hidden music behind them. And then, in a voice soft as wind, she speaks. The river means choice. The traveler must decide which path he will walk. The man bows low, comforted. For in this land, to have a dream read is to feel seen, guided, safe. You breathe with the scene, slowly, calmly, as though you too are in the chamber, listening to her words. The priestesses also sang. Their voices rose in hymns to Inanna, the morning star. They praised her beauty, her strength, her fierce love. Their songs filled the temple like the rising of dawn. And yet, to hear them at night was different. At night, their chants were softer, slower, almost like a mother's lullaby. They reminded the people that even in the dark, the goddess still watched, still held them in her embrace. Now imagine the courtyard of the temple under the pale moon. Priestesses walk in circles holding small lamps. Their robes shimmer with beads catching the firelight. They lift their voices in unison, slow and flowing. The sound is like waves upon the Tigris, endless carrying. The people who watch grow calm. Their worries loosen, their eyes grow heavy. The chants are not just for the gods, they are for the people's rest. You hear the soft beat of a drum. You hear the low hum of voices. You hear the desert wind moving through reed and palm. The temple is alive with stillness. To be a priestess in Sumer was to live between two worlds. She was a woman of the earth, yet she walked close to the divine. Her dreams were not only her own. Her songs were not only for herself. She belonged to the goddess, and through her, to the people. She knew the power of silence. She knew the power of rhythm. She knew the power of a voice softened into prayer, and so each night, the temple glowed with small lights. Each night, chants rose and drifted across the desert. Each night, the priestesses gave the people what they most needed, a sense that the gods were near, that the darkness was safe, that life would continue with the rising sun. Now breathe deeply, as if you are lying upon the warm earth outside the temple. The sky above is endless, a deep velvet cloth stitched with stars. The lamps flicker at the gates. The chants grow faint, fading into silence. You close your eyes. You feel the ground holding you, steady and sure, as it held all those who once came here long ago. The voices of the priestesses linger, even when the sound has gone. They move like echoes through the heart, like waves that never cease. Rest in that echo. Rest in their song. The desert night grows cooler. The lamps are lowered. The chants become whispers, then silence. Only the stars remain, shining gently above the quiet land. The priestesses sleep now. The travelers rest. The gods, it is said, continue to watch, and you too can drift. You are safe in this ancient night, wrapped in song, wrapped in silence, wrapped in peace. Let us drift onward into the next story, as the stars keep their watch above the sleeping temple. The desert night stretches wide, quiet and endless. The Nile flows gently, its dark waters glimmering under the watch of the moon. Palm trees sway softly in the night breeze, their leaves whispering like 1,000 hushed prayers. It is here, in this ancient land of Egypt, that the spirit of Isis is felt. A mother, a healer, a sorceress of love and protection. Close your eyes and see her temple. Its walls rise like mountains of stone carved with sacred words and images that glow faintly in the firelight. Tall pillars hold the ceiling like a forest of stone, their shadows stretching long and soft. Oil lamps flicker, their golden flames dancing across painted scenes of Isis, the divine mother, her wings outstretched, wide and sheltering, like the sky itself. She is the womb of comfort. She is the hand of healing. She is the song of magic whispered into the night. In the heart of the temple, priestesses move in silence. Their robes are white, flowing, scented with lotus. Their steps are light, their faces serene. Each carries a small bowl of water from the Nile, believed to hold her blessing. They pour it gently into a basin of stone, where the water shimmers like liquid moonlight. Around them, the air is still, charged with the presence of something greater, something eternal. A chant begins. Low, soft, slow. It drifts like incense winding through the columns, reaching into the night. The words call to Isis, mother of Horus, wife of Osiris, protector of the grieving, guardian of the weak. The voices blend like ripples on the river, soothing, unbroken, endless. Listen closely. The sound is not only prayer, it is comfort, like a lullaby sung to a restless child. It reminds the weary that they are not alone, that the mother's wings stretch wide enough to cover all who suffer. Her story is told in whispers. Osiris, the beloved, was slain and torn apart, his body scattered across the land. Isis, with patience and love, gathered the pieces, one by one, cradling them, healing them, breathing life back into what was broken. From her devotion came resurrection. From her womb came Horus, the falcon child, the hope of Egypt. The people remember this story in times of sorrow. When grief pressed heavily upon the heart, they called upon Isis. When love seemed lost, they turned to her. When fear closed in, they whispered her name like a soft prayer carried on the wind. And she was near, always near. Imagine yourself standing by the Nile just before dawn. The air is cool. Mist rises from the water, curling like smoke. A priestess kneels at the bank, dipping her hands into the river. She lifts the water to her face, letting it drip slowly down her skin. The droplets shine in the half-light like tears, like blessings. Behind her, the horizon grows pale, the first glow of morning returning. This is the gift of Isis, the promise that no night is endless, no loss is beyond healing, no grief is beyond her embrace. She is the eternal mother. She is the healer of wounds unseen. She is the womb from which hope is born again. Her cult was known for tenderness. The rituals did not thunder with drums, nor blaze with fire. They moved gently like water. They sang softly, like doves in the morning. Those who entered her temple often carried burdens of sorrow, grief for the dead, fear of illness, wounds of the heart. And yet, when they left, they felt lighter, as though her invisible hands had lifted part of their pain. Her priestesses would wrap small amulets in cloth, tiny carvings of her image, with wings spread wide. These were given to travelers, to mothers, to children, to lovers. Each amulet whispered protection, carrying the presence of Isis wherever the bearer went. To hold it was to feel safe, as though carried in her womb of endless compassion. Picture now a festival in her honor. Lanterns float down the Nile, their flames trembling on the water. Boats glide slowly, carrying singers dressed in white, their voices rising like birds. Crowds line the banks, their faces calm, eyes reflecting the light of the river. The air is filled with fragrance, lotus, honey, myrrh. The songs drift upward, carried by the night wind. Children rest against their mothers, lulled by the sound. Elders close their eyes, tears glimmering on their cheeks. The whole land feels wrapped in her arms, held, protected, soothed. Even now, in the quiet of this moment, you can imagine that gentle embrace. It is not loud. It does not startle. It is steady, eternal, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The womb of Isis is not only a womb of birth, it is a womb of healing, where broken pieces are gathered and made whole again. It is a womb of magic, where words become power and power becomes love. It is a womb of comfort, where grief finds rest, where sorrow finds release. And you, listening now, may feel her presence, like wings spreading around you, like soft hands cradling your heart, like the hush of the river lapping gently against the shore. Now the night deepens again. The chants grow softer. The oil lamps burn low. Priestesses lie down upon woven mats, resting their heads, breathing slow. The temple is quiet, save for the flicker of one last flame. It burns steadily, a reminder of her presence, even in sleep, even in silence. The Nile flows on, carrying the reflection of stars. The desert wind sighs through the palms, and above all, Isis watches, her wings spread wide, holding the world in her boundless embrace. Rest in that embrace. Feel the safety of her womb. Feel the healing of her hands. Feel the comfort of her presence. Now breathe, slow and deep, as though you are lying by the river, the water whispering beside you. Let the sound carry you deeper, into stillness, into peace. And as you drift into the soft arms of sleep, remember the mother of healing, the goddess of magic, the eternal womb of Isis. Let us drift onward into the next story, as the stars return to guide the night. Night falls over the plains of Sumer. The sky glows faintly, scattered with stars, their light shimmering above the wide, silent earth. The air is warm, yet softened by the breath of evening winds that move across the reeds. In the distance, the ziggurats rise, tier upon tier, reaching toward heaven like steps carved for the gods. At the heart of this land, bathed in shadow and moonlight, lives the memory of Inanna, radiant goddess of love, of war, of life and of death. Close your eyes and enter her temple. Torches glow faintly along the great stone walls. Their light flickers across carved reliefs, where lions kneel at her feet, where stars crown her brow, where wings spread wide across the stone. Inside, the air carries the scent of incense, cedar and sweet resins, smoke rising slowly in graceful spirals. It drifts upward, as though carrying the prayers of mortals to the heavens. The night is quiet, yet alive. You can almost hear the low hum of voices, soft as water, the echoes of women who once gathered here. They are the daughters of Inanna, priestesses, singers, dancers, who kept the mysteries of their goddess alive. Their words are not lost. Their voices still flow, like the river, moving gently through the silence of time. Inanna was both fierce and tender. Her eyes held the light of morning, yet also the shadows of storm. She was the embrace of love and the fire of battle. To follow her was to know that life is both soft and strong, both giving and taking, both birth and death. The daughters of Inanna knew this balance. They sang of it in the temple courts where the moon spilled silver light upon the stones. They danced with bare feet upon woven mats, their bodies swaying in rhythm with drums that beat like the heart of the earth. Their movements were gentle, yet full of hidden power, like rivers that can both nourish and flood. Every gesture, every note was a prayer, to love, to passion, to longing, to courage, to anger, to release. The goddess did not ask them to choose only peace or only war. She asked them to live fully, to hold both within their breath as she did. Stories of Inanna are old, older than the sands of Egypt, older than the walls of Babylon. Her tale is written on clay tablets, pressed in lines of cuneiform, fragile yet eternal. One story tells of her descent. She went down, deep into the underworld, to the realm of her sister Ereshkigal. At each gate she passed, she gave away a piece of her power, her crown, her jewels, her robes, until she stood naked, stripped of all that she was, in the silence of death's domain. The daughters remembered this tale. They whispered it in candlelight, voices soft as the wings of doves. For them it was not only a story of gods, it was the mystery of life itself. Every soul must descend, must know loss, must shed what it clings to, and every soul too may rise again, clothed in new light, reborn. Imagine now the temple on a festival night. The courtyard is filled with soft flames of oil lamps. Shadows dance on the walls as singers begin their hymns. The voices rise, slow and steady, like the swell of the Tigris after rain. Drums echo in the background, a heartbeat felt deep within the chest. The daughters step forward, their veils shimmering in the light. They move in circles, their feet tracing patterns upon the ground. Their hands stretch upward, then fold across the heart, then sweep outward like wings. Each motion is a story, each motion a prayer. One dancer bends low, pressing her forehead to the earth as though to greet the underworld below. Another rises high, spinning in the torchlight, arms spread wide, as though to greet the stars above. Together, they weave the truth of Inanna, that life is both descent and ascent, both mourning and joy. Listen closely now, and you may hear their chant. Soft syllables flowing like water, their rhythm slow, repeating, endless. The words are old, but their meaning is simple. To love is to surrender. To live is to risk pain. To die is not the end, but a door. The chant sways like a lullaby. It rocks the heart, easing its burdens, softening its edges. It invites the soul to rest, as a child rests in the arms of its mother. Inanna was also a goddess of desire. She taught that passion was not shameful, but sacred. The daughters sang of this too, their voices sweet, their tones low. They honored the bond between lovers, the warmth of the body, the fire of the heart. They knew that love was not weakness. It was strength, just as fierce as war, just as holy as prayer. So they sang not only to the heavens, but to the earth, not only to the spirit, but to the flesh. They saw no divide. For Inanna was all. The kiss of the beloved, the clash of the warrior, the silence of the grave, the song of new life. Picture a dawn after a night of their rites. The lamps are extinguished. The torches burn low. The temple stones are cool beneath the morning air. The daughters rest now, lying in silence, their breathing steady, their faces peaceful. The goddess lingers in the hush, in the stillness. Her presence is felt in the dew upon the reeds, in the slow turning of the sky from dark to pale. She is near, as she has always been, in every rise, in every fall. And now, as you listen, you may feel the calm of her temple, the slow rhythm of drums fading into silence, the soft echo of voices drifting into the night, the gentle weight of her mystery wrapping around you like a veil of stars. You are safe here, beneath her gaze. You are held in her balance, between love and war, between joy and grief. You are sheltered in the wisdom of her daughters, who sang, who danced, who whispered of life's eternal flow. Let the night carry you deeper. Let the story soften, like the fading of incense smoke in the air. Let your breath match the rhythm of ancient songs. Slow, steady, gentle. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the daughters of Inanna guide you into sleep. Now dream, in the embrace of love and shadow, of descent and return, of Inanna, radiant goddess of Sumer. Let us drift onward into the next story, carried by the silence of the night. Night gathers over the mountains of Greece. The air is cool, carrying the faint perfume of pine and the sweet trace of wild thyme. Above the peaks the stars appear, scattered like seeds across the velvet sky. A crescent moon hangs low, silver and calm, watching over the valleys below. There, upon the slopes of Mount Parnassus, stands a temple. Its columns rise tall and pale, touched by moonlight, touched by silence. The stone steps are worn smooth by the passage of many feet, kings, soldiers, shepherds, wanderers, each climbing with hope, with fear, with longing. For this is the house of Apollo, god of light, god of song, god of prophecy. And within these walls, the oracle waits. Inside the temple, the air is hushed. Shadows dance along the marble, cast by oil lamps that flicker with steady flame. A bowl of water rests in the corner, its surface still, catching the faint glow of firelight. Incense burns nearby, soft smoke rising in spirals, blurring the air with its gentle haze. Every breath tastes of cedar, myrrh, and the memory of ancient prayers. At the heart of the temple lies a chamber, quiet and deep. Here, the oracle sits upon a sacred tripod, her body wrapped in flowing robes of white. She breathes slowly, deeply, her chest rising and falling like the tide. From beneath the stones, vapors rise, a hidden breath from the earth itself, rising to touch her lips, to fill her lungs, to carry her mind beyond the mortal veil. The world outside falls away. The murmur of voices fades. Only silence remains, save for the soft crackle of the lamps, the soft sigh of her breathing. She drifts now, far beyond, into the currents of vision. The oracle's voice, when it comes, is gentle, not loud, not commanding. It flows like water through a narrow stream, slow and steady, bending with the stones. She whispers words that come not from her alone, but from the unseen realms. Sometimes the whispers are clear, bright as dawn. Other times they are soft as mist, drifting, fading before they can be grasped. Yet always those who listen find meaning, for the words are like seeds. They fall upon the soil of the heart, and there they grow, shaped by the one who receives them. Imagine the people who came. A king, heavy with the weight of war, kneeling in the shadows, his hands pressed against the stone. A shepherd worn and quiet, carrying questions of weather, of harvest, of life. A mother, eyes lowered, seeking comfort for her child. All listened to the same whisper. All heard something different. The oracle did not command. She did not decide. She offered the river of her voice and let it flow into the listener's soul. What they carried away was shaped by their own need, their own heart, their own longing. The daughters of the temple, the priestesses who served, moved gently through the chamber. They tended the lamps, keeping the flames alive through the long hours. They sang in low tones, songs as old as the stones, their voices weaving around the whisper of the oracle. The sound was soft, unbroken, like the hum of bees in summer fields or the endless rhythm of waves upon the shore. Their song kept the chamber steady, kept the veil between worlds open. Their steps were measured, their gestures calm, as though each movement was itself a prayer. Together they cradled the silence, guarding it like a flame against the winds of the world. Legends tell of great rulers who came to hear her voice. They brought gold, ivory, vessels of fine oil, and jewels bright as the stars. Yet the oracle's words were never bound by wealth. She spoke as she was moved to speak, whether to king or shepherd, warrior or slave. To one she might say, "The serpent sleeps where the river bends." To another, "The olive will not grow in barren ground." To another still, only silence, only the weight of her gaze, calm and unbroken. The meaning lay hidden as meaning often does. It was the seeker's task to listen, to wait, to carry the whisper into their life, and to find its truth in time. Picture a quiet morning after such a night. The vapors have stilled. The lamps burn low. The oracle sits with eyes closed, her breath slow, her face serene, as though she drifts still in the space between worlds. The seekers have gone, their hearts heavy or light, their questions answered or deepened. The temple rests in silence, bathed in the soft gold of dawn. Mist curls over the mountain slopes and the first birds sing, their voices pure, their wings bright against the sky. All is calm. All is timeless. There is a lesson in this stillness. The oracle did not force her voice. She breathed, she listened, she let the words flow. Like the earth itself, she opened and allowed. Like a river, she carried what came. Like the wind, she whispered and was gone. The priestesses knew this secret. They lived it in their silence, in their songs. That wisdom is not a storm but a stream, not a fire but a lamp, not a command but a whisper. Now, as you listen, let the whisper settle within you. Not a word to puzzle over, not a riddle to solve. Only a gentle murmur, soft as water in the dark. It flows into you, through you, like breath, like the hush of leaves in the evening wind. You are not asked to hold it tightly. You are only asked to rest, to let the whisper carry you, slow and easy, into the quiet river of sleep. The stars shine above Mount Parnassus. The moon drifts westward, sinking behind the hills. The temple remains eternal, its stones bathed in silver light. And deep within, the oracle whispers still, her voice moving through the ages, calm as the night, endless as the sky. Now rest, as the stars return. Now drift, as the whisper carries you onward. Now dream, held in the stillness of the temple, in the breath of the mountain, in the gentle silence of the oracle. Let us drift onward into the next story, carried by the hush of unseen realms. The night is gentle and the stars are wide awake. Their silver light rests upon soft hills and sleeping valleys. A hush lies over the land, broken only by the faint rustle of wind moving through tall grass. The air smells faintly of earth, of grain, of harvest long past yet not forgotten. In this dreamlike space, golden fields stretch as far as the mind can wander. Their stalks shimmer under the moonlight, each one like a thread in an endless tapestry. Here, the presence of a goddess lingers, Demeter, mother of wheat, keeper of seasons, giver of life. Her spirit is felt in every seed, every harvest, every loaf of bread that warms a family's hands. Her story is one of grief and one of return. Her mystery is one of loss, and the promise that life, though hidden, will always rise again. Once, long ago, priestesses walked these fields. Their steps were slow, their robes brushing against the golden stalks, their hair crowned with fresh blossoms. They carried torches that flickered in the evening air, guiding them through sacred paths. Some held baskets filled with pomegranates, grains, and figs, offerings for the Mother of the Earth. Others sang, their voices soft and steady, weaving chants that rose into the night sky like smoke. Each gesture, each word, was part of a ritual, not hurried, not loud, but patient and deep. They believed Demeter's sorrow could be calmed, her heart soothed, and in return she would bless the earth with fruit and wheat. It was a cycle, as gentle as the turning of the moon, as steady as the coming dawn. The myth of Demeter tells of her daughter Persephone, bright Persephone with hands like spring, who wandered one day into a meadow of flowers. There the earth opened, and Hades, lord of the underworld, took her beneath the soil. Demeter searched and searched, her feet crossing deserts and mountains. her cries carried on the wind. When at last she learned where her child had gone, her grief darkened the world. Fields grew barren. Rivers slowed. Nothing could bloom under her sorrow. Yet the story does not end in loss, for Persephone was allowed to return, not always, but each spring. And with her return, the earth itself awakened. Grain rose from the soil, flowers opened their faces, the world was made green once more. This is the heart of Demeter's veil, a covering that reminds humanity that what is hidden in winter is not gone. It only sleeps, and it will rise again. The priestesses carried this truth with gentle care. In their secret rites they moved between light and shadow, whispering hymns that honored both grief and joy. They spoke of the sorrow of parting, but also the sweetness of return. They knew that loss is not the end, but a doorway, a pause before renewal. At Eleusis, a sacred place near Athens, they kept the mysteries of Demeter alive. Torches burned through the night as seekers gathered in silence. No loud voices, no harsh noise, only stillness. The air filled with the scent of grain and honey, with the smoke of offerings rising into the sky. In these mysteries, the veil was lifted. Those who came were reminded that death is not forever, that beneath the soil life rests, that all who vanish will someday return in another form, in another season, in another light. Picture the fields at dawn. The sky softens into rose and gold. Mist lingers low, drifting over the soil like a gentle breath. Every stalk of wheat glows with dew, each droplet sparkling as though kissed by starlight. This was Demeter's promise, alive in every sunrise. Her priestesses would walk the furrows, laying their hands upon the earth as though upon a child. They whispered prayers not in fear but in trust, for they knew the seed would split, the green would rise, and the harvest would come again. Their rituals were not only for the gods, but for the people who toiled in the fields, who needed hope when the earth grew cold. Every chant was a lullaby to the soil, every offering a comfort to those who wondered if the grain would rise again. Demeter's veil was not only a shroud of grief, it was also a cloak of comfort. It covered the earth in its silence, protecting the hidden seeds, guarding them as they dreamed in the dark. Her veil said, "Rest now, all will return in time." Those who lived under her blessing felt this truth in their bones. They saw it in the rhythm of the seasons, in the slow turning of stars, in the breath of the wind. Life was a circle, not a line. Every ending was only a pause, every silence a waiting song. The soft voices of the priestesses carried this wisdom from one generation to the next. By firelight they told stories of Demeter and Persephone. By torchlight they guided the seekers into the mysteries. And by the glow of dawn they taught that love never fades, that nothing is ever truly lost. Even now, as the centuries have passed, the whisper of their chants lingers in the air. You can almost hear them when the wind moves gently through the fields, or when the earth softens beneath spring rain. A voice, calm and steady, saying, "All things sleep, and all things wake. Nothing is gone, only waiting to be found." Now, let this truth rest within you. Whatever you have lost, whatever has gone quiet in your life, still carries a seed. It rests, it waits, it dreams, and in its own season, it will return. Just as the priestesses once believed, just as the earth itself shows, there is no final silence. There is only the veil of Demeter, soft and golden, wrapping the world in gentle promise. The night deepens. The stars move slowly across the sky. The golden fields fade into shadow, hushed and still beneath the goddess's care. And in that stillness you too may rest, safe, unhurried, held by the rhythm of cycles that have no end. Now drift as the fields lie dreaming. Now rest as the seeds wait for dawn. Now sleep, wrapped in the veil of Demeter, soft as wheat, endless as time. Let us drift onward, into the next story, where new voices and new lights await. The night settles softly. The stars shine like small embers scattered across the endless sky. A hush lies over the earth, as though even the winds are resting. And in this calm, a single flame glows within a quiet temple. The flame does not roar. It does not leap or burn too brightly. It simply lives, steady and warm, casting circles of golden light upon stone walls. This is the fire of Hestia, goddess of the hearth, guardian of the home, keeper of peace. The temple is not crowded. It is not grand. It is simple, quiet, and filled with warmth. For Hestia's gift was never about splendor. It was about stillness. It was about belonging. The priestesses who served her tended this fire with gentle hands. They rose before dawn, their bare feet touching the cool stone floor. In silence, they carried oil and wood, feeding the flame so it would not fade. For to let the fire die was to let the heart of the home grow cold. Each spark was treated as sacred. Each flicker was a promise. The fire was not only warmth, but memory. It held the laughter of families, the soft voices of prayers, the comfort of bread baking on stone. The women bowed their heads as they watched the light dance. They whispered words not to be heard, but to be felt. Their breath mingled with the smoke, rising upward like a prayer carried by air. Hestia was the firstborn of the Olympians, yet she asked for nothing loud or grand. While others sought thrones or wars or victories, she asked only for the hearth. She chose the still place, the center, the quiet flame around which all gathered. In every home, no matter how small, a fire burned for her. It was the first flame lit when a family began, and the last flame kept when a family ended. Her fire was peace, a circle unbroken. It was said that as long as Hestia's flame burned, no one was truly without a home. Imagine the temple at night, the stars above, the silent streets, and within, the hearth glowing softly. The air is warm, carrying the faint scent of olive oil and wood smoke. The shadows sway gently against the walls, never frightening, only alive, as though keeping watch. One priestess sits beside the flame, her robe gathered around her knees. Her eyes are half closed, her mind resting in the rhythm of the fire. She does not need to speak. The flame itself is the prayer. The fire listens. The fire remembers. The fire gives comfort to those who sit near, reminding them that life holds a center, even in the turning of seasons, even in the storms of change. Families once built their lives around this gift. The hearth was not only for warmth, but for gathering. Bread baked slowly, its scent filling the air. Children lay close, hearing stories whispered by elders. Songs rose softly in the glow, not to celebrate power, but to celebrate belonging. Hestia's fire was the soul of every home. It burned in palaces and cottages alike, no different in value, no different in meaning. Its glow was a promise that love was stronger than distance, that peace was stronger than chaos. The fire was also part of journeys. When a new colony was founded, a small flame was carried from Hestia's hearth in the mother city. It was brought across land and sea, kept alive through storms, tended with care. When at last it reached the new home, it was set down, and from it, new hearths were lit. The flame tied the new to the old, reminding all that, though they had traveled far, they still belonged. This was Hestia's blessing, not loud, not grand, but endless. Her fire was also peace between strangers. When guests entered a home, they were welcomed at the hearth. They were given bread, water, and warmth, no matter who they were. To sit by Hestia's flame was to be safe. It was said that no conflict could live beside her fire. The warmth smoothed anger. The glow calmed fear. In this way, the goddess taught that the truest strength is not in battle, but in stillness. Not in the sword, but in the quiet hand that offers bread by the firelight. Close your eyes and picture it. The flicker of the flame, the soft crackle of wood, the slow, steady glow that never falters. This was the rhythm the priestesses tended. Their lives were woven into the fire's heartbeat. They moved as though breathing with the flame, always present, always gentle. Each night, when the world outside grew dark, their temple stayed alive with golden light. It was a beacon for those who wandered, a reminder that even in darkness, warmth waits. Hestia's presence is not a roar of power. It is a whisper, a soft hand, a glow that never fades. It teaches that peace is not found by searching far, but by tending to what is close. The fire at the heart, the breath in the chest, the kindness in a single word. Her gift was eternal, yet simple. The fire that warms without consuming. The flame that gives without demanding. The light that holds without binding. And so, when the Greeks spoke of her, they did not tell of wars or battles. They told of the glow of hearths. They told of families gathered together safe from winter winds. They told of journeys that began and ended with her flame. Her myths are quiet, almost hidden, yet they endure because the warmth of the hearth endures. Every home that lights a fire, every meal shared in peace, carries her blessing still. The eternal flame is still burning in the dream. It is steady, patient, timeless. Its glow spreads outward, softening shadows, filling the night with calm. You may sit beside it in your mind. You may feel its warmth on your skin. You may breathe with its gentle rhythm. Each breath a flicker, each breath a glow. Let the fire comfort you. Let it remind you that you are not alone, that you belong, and that peace is always within reach. Now the night grows deeper. The stars drift slowly across the sky, silver threads moving through velvet dark. The temple grows still, its stone walls resting, its air warm and quiet. And in the center, the fire of Hestia burns, unchanged, unwavering. You too may rest now, steady and safe, as though held by the hearth of the goddess herself. No shadows can trouble you, no coal can reach you. You are in the circle of her flame. Now drift onward. Now rest, as the eternal fire glows gently. Now sleep, carried by warmth, carried by light, carried by peace. Let the fire burn on as you close your eyes and float into the quiet beyond dreams. The night stretches wide and still. The stars shimmer like scattered pearls across the velvet sky. The air is cool, and the forest sleeps beneath silver light. There, in the quiet spaces between the trees, the moon rises slowly, carrying her gentle glow across the world. This is the realm of Artemis, the huntress, the guardian of the wild, the protector of women and maidens who walked freely under her light. Her presence is not heavy. It is soft, like a hand brushing the surface of water. It is silent, like deer moving through tall grass. And yet it is strong, steady as the moon herself watching from above. In the heart of the forest, a clearing opens. Tall pines stand in a circle, their branches bending as though bowing to the sky. The grass glows faintly in the silver light, and the air carries the soft sound of leaves trembling in the breeze. Here, maidens once gathered in her name. They did not wear crowns of gold, but simple garlands of flowers. Their feet were bare upon the earth. They sang beneath the stars, their voices rising like mist, weaving with the night air until even the owls grew still to listen. Their songs were not of battles or kings. They were songs of freedom, songs of the river flowing without end, songs of the moon steady and serene, songs of women who walked unbound, their lives their own, their hearts their own. Artemis walked with them, though unseen. Sometimes she appeared in the form of a huntress, bow resting lightly in her hand. Sometimes she was only a shadow moving across the grass, or the sudden brightness of the moon breaking through the trees. Yet always her presence was felt. Her maidens knew they were safe beneath her watch. No harm could touch them here. No shadow of fear could linger. For Artemis was more than a goddess of the hunt. She was the light that cut through the night, the protector of those who sought freedom under the open sky. Imagine her now. She moves softly across the clearing. Her steps are silent, yet the earth seems to welcome her touch. A bow rests on her shoulder, but it is not raised. Her face is calm, bathed in moonlight. Her gaze filled with quiet strength. A deer grazes at the edge of the field. It lifts its head, ears twitching, but does not flee. It knows her presence is gentle. It knows the huntress does not kill without reason. She protects as much as she pursues. Her arrows are as much guardians as they are weapons. The maidens dance now, slow and soft, like shadows swaying to the rhythm of the earth. Their movements are not hurried. They follow the pace of the wind, the rhythm of their breath, the pull of the moon above them. Their arms rise, their feet step gently, their bodies turn with grace as though the world itself is singing through them. Artemis watches, her heart still, her gaze tender. She is not distant from them. She is not above them. She is with them, in every breath, in every note of song, in every step upon the grass. The night becomes a sanctuary, the moon becomes a crown, and the forest, alive with whispers, becomes a temple more sacred than any stone hall built by men. The flame does not roar. It does not leap or burn too brightly. It simply lives, steady and warm, casting circles of golden light upon stone walls. This is the fire of Hestia, goddess of the hearth, guardian of the home, keeper of peace. The temple is not crowded. It is not grand. It is simple, quiet, and filled with warmth. For Hestia's gift was never about splendor. It was about stillness. It was about belonging. The priestesses who served her tended this fire with gentle hands. They rose before dawn, their bare feet touching the cool stone floor. In silence they carried oil and wood, feeding the flame so it would not fade. For to let the fire die was to let the heart of the home grow cold. Each spark was treated as sacred. Each flicker was a promise. The fire was not only warmth, but memory. It held the laughter of families, the soft voices of prayers, the comfort of bread baking on stone. The women bowed their heads as they watched the light dance. They whispered words not to be heard but to be felt. Their breath mingled with the smoke, rising upward like a prayer carried by air. Hestia was the firstborn of the Olympians, yet she asked for nothing loud or grand. While others sought thrones or wars or victories, she asked only for the hearth. She chose the still place, the center, the quiet flame around which all gathered. In every home, no matter how small, a fire burned for her. It was the first flame lit when a family began, and the last flame kept when a family ended. Her fire was peace, a circle unbroken. It was said that as long as Hestia's flame burned, no one was truly without a home. Imagine the temple at night, the stars above, the silent streets, and within, the hearth glowing softly. The air is warm, carrying the faint scent of olive oil and wood smoke. The shadows swayed gently against the walls, never frightening, only alive as though keeping watch. One priestess sits beside the flame, her robe gathered around her knees. Her eyes are half closed, her mind resting in the rhythm of the fire. She does not need to speak. The flame itself is the prayer. The fire listens. The fire remembers. The fire gives comfort to those who sit near, reminding them that life holds a center, even in the turning of seasons, even in the storms of change. Families once built their lives around this gift. The hearth was not only for warmth but for gathering. Bread baked slowly, its scent filling the air. Children lay close, hearing stories whispered by elders. Songs rose softly in the glow, not to celebrate power, but to celebrate belonging. Hestia's fire was the soul of every home. It burned in palaces and cottages alike, no different in value, no different in meaning. Its glow was a promise that love was stronger than distance, that peace was stronger than chaos. The fire was also part of journeys. When a new colony was founded, a small flame was carried from Hestia's hearth in the mother city. It was brought across land and sea, kept alive through storms, tended with care. When at last it reached the new home, it was set down, and from it, new hearths were lit. The flame tied the new to the old, reminding all that though they had traveled far, they still belonged. This was Hestia's blessing. Not loud, not grand, but endless. Her fire was also peace between strangers. When guests entered a home, they were welcomed at the hearth. They were given bread, water, and warmth, no matter who they were. To sit by Hestia's flame was to be safe. It was said that no conflict could live beside her fire. The warmth smoothed anger. The glow calmed fear. In this way, the goddess taught that the truest strength is not in battle, but in stillness. Not in the sword, but in the quiet hand that offers bread by the firelight. Close your eyes and picture it. The flicker of the flame, the soft crackle of wood, the slow, steady glow that never falters. This was the rhythm the priestesses tended. Their lives were woven into the fire's heartbeat. They moved as though breathing with the flame, always present, always gentle. Each night, when the world outside grew dark, their temple stayed alive with golden light. It was a beacon for those who wandered, a reminder that even in darkness, warmth waits. Hestia's presence is not a roar of power. It is a whisper, a soft hand, a glow that never fades. It teaches that peace is not found by searching far, but by tending to what is close. The fire at the heart, the breath in the chest, the kindness in a single word. Her gift was eternal, yet simple. The fire that warms without consuming. The flame that gives without demanding. The light that holds without binding. And so when the Greeks spoke of her, they did not tell of wars or battles. They told of the glow of hearths. They told of families gathered together, safe from winter winds. They told of journeys that began and ended with her flame. Her myths are quiet, almost hidden, yet they endure because the warmth of the hearth endures. Every home that lights a fire, every meal shared in peace, carries her blessing still. The eternal flame is still burning in the dream. It is steady, patient, timeless. Its glow spreads outward, softening shadows, filling the night with calm. You may sit beside it in your mind. You may feel its warmth on your skin. You may breathe with its gentle rhythm, each breath a flicker, each breath a glow. Let the fire comfort you. Let it remind you that you are not alone, that you belong and that peace is always within reach. Now the night grows deeper. The stars drift slowly across the sky, silver threads moving through velvet dark. The temple grows still, its stone walls resting, its air warm and quiet, and in the center the fire of Hestia burns, unchanged, unwavering. You too may rest now, steady and safe, as though held by the hearth of the goddess herself. No shadows can trouble you, no cold can reach you. You are in the circle of her flame. Now drift onward. Now rest as the eternal fire glows gently. Now sleep, carried by warmth, carried by light, carried by peace. Let the fire burn on as you close your eyes and float into the quiet beyond dreams. The night stretches wide and still. The stars shimmer like scattered pearls across the velvet sky. The air is cool and the forest sleeps beneath silver light. There, in the quiet spaces between the trees, the moon rises slowly, carrying her gentle glow across the world. This is the realm of Artemis, the huntress, the guardian of the wild, the protector of women and maidens who walked freely under her light. Her presence is not heavy. It is soft, like a hand brushing the surface of water. It is silent, like deer moving through tall grass. And yet it is strong, steady as the moon herself, watching from above. In the heart of the forest, a clearing opens. Tall pines stand in a circle, their branches bending as though bowing to the sky. The grass glows faintly in the silver light, and the air carries the soft sound of leaves trembling in the breeze. Here, maidens once gathered in her name. They did not wear crowns of gold, but simple garlands of flowers. Their feet were bare upon the earth. They sang beneath the stars, their voices rising like mist, weaving with the night air until even the owls grew still to listen. Their songs were not of battles or kings. They were songs of freedom, songs of the river, flowing without end, songs of the moon, steady and serene, songs of women who walked unbound, their lives their own, their hearts their own. Artemis walked with them, though unseen. Sometimes she appeared in the form of a huntress, bow resting lightly in her hand. Sometimes she was only a shadow moving across the grass, or the sudden brightness of the moon breaking through the trees. Yet always her presence was felt. Her maidens knew they were safe beneath her watch. No harm could touch them here. No shadow of fear could linger, for Artemis was more than a goddess of the hunt. She was the light that cut through the night, the protector of those who sought freedom under the open sky. Imagine her now. She moves softly across the clearing. Her steps are silent, yet the earth seems to welcome her touch. A bow rests on her shoulder, but it is not raised. Her face is calm, bathed in moonlight, her gaze filled with quiet strength. A deer grazes at the edge of the field. It lifts its head, ears twitching, but does not flee. It knows her presence is gentle. It knows the huntress does not kill without reason. She protects as much as she pursues. Her arrows are as much guardians as they are weapons. The maidens dance now, slow and soft, like shadows swaying to the rhythm of the earth. Their movements are not hurried. They follow the pace of the wind, the rhythm of their breath, the pull of the moon above them. Their arms rise, their feet step gently, their bodies turn with grace as though the world itself is singing through them. Artemis watches, her heart still, her gaze tender. She is not distant from them. She is not above them. She is with them, in every breath, in every note of song, in every step upon the grass. The night becomes a sanctuary. There is peace in her realm. The maidens need no fear of kings or laws, of chains or heavy hands. Here, their lives are free. Their bodies belong only to themselves. Their voices rise without silence pressing down upon them. In the glow of Artemis, every woman is unbroken. Every girl is safe. Every spirit moves with the rhythm of the stars. The huntress taught them this freedom not with words, but with presence. She lived it, and so they followed. She gave them the forest, and they gave her their song. The moon climbs higher, pouring silver upon the trees. The river nearby shimmers like glass, carrying the light across its rippling skin. Owls stir in the branches, their wings brushing the night air. Deer step softly from the shadows, unafraid of the women who dee. The moon becomes a crown, and the forest, alive with whispers, becomes a temple more sacred than any stone hall built by men. There is peace in her realm. The maidens need no fear of kings or laws, of chains or heavy hands. Here, their lives are free. Their bodies belong only to themselves. Their voices rise without silence, pressing down upon them. In the glow of Artemis, every woman is unbroken. Every girl is safe. Every spirit moves with the rhythm of the stars. The huntress taught them this freedom not with words, but with presence. She lived it, and so they followed. She gave them the forest, and they gave her their song. The moon climbs higher, pouring silver upon the trees. The river nearby shimmers like glass, carrying the light across its rippling skin. Owls stir in the branches, their wings brushing the night air. Deer step softly from the shadows, unafraid of the women who dance, unafraid of the goddess who watches. For Artemis was not only goddess of the hunt, she was a bridge between the human and the wild. She was the voice that told the world, "You belong here. You are not apart. You are part of this breathing, living night." Close your eyes and imagine the forest, the cool grass beneath your feet, the tall trees standing like guardians all around, the sky wide and endless above, filled with stars that pulse like distant heartbeats. And there, above all, the moon, soft, steady, eternal. Its glow falls on your shoulders like a cloak. Its calm drifts into your chest like a slow breath. It does not push. It does not demand. It only rests as Artemis rests, watching, protecting, comforting. Her stories are many. Some tell of her arrows, sharp and unerring. Some tell of her wrath, fierce and swift. Yet beneath it all, her essence remains gentle. She is the moonlight that does not fade. She is the silver path that guides the lost. She is the protector of those who cannot protect themselves. And so her maidens sang, their voices soft as water, their melodies endless as the stars. They did not fear the dark. They did not fear the wild. For Artemis was with them, in every shadow, in every breath of wind, in every flicker of the moon above. The night deepens now. The songs grow quieter like whispers fading into dreams. The fireflies rise from the grass, their small lights floating like fragments of the stars. The forest hums with its secret rhythms, steady, soothing, eternal. Artemis lowers her gaze, her bow resting, her form dissolving into silver mist. Her maidens slow their dance. Their garlands rest against their hair. Their voices soften until only silence remains. And yet, the silence is not empty. It is full. It is peaceful. It is safe. You may rest here. You may sit within this circle of trees. You may feel the cool light of the moon wash over your skin. You may hear the soft hum of the forest surrounding you, holding you, cradling you in its gentle arms. The huntress keeps watch. The moon keeps shining. The night holds you steady and calm. Now drift onward. Now rest as the silver glow of Artemis carries you deeper into quiet. Now sleep as her moonlight guides you, soft as breath, eternal as the sky. The night returns with quiet steps. Shadows fall gently across the marble stones of ancient Rome. In the stillness of the forum, where voices once echoed and footsteps once hurried, a softer sound lingers. It is the whisper of fire, a flame that never rests, a light that never fades. And near this eternal flame, sacred women walk with calm hearts. They are the Vestal virgins. Breathe slowly, as if you stand among them. The air is warm with the breath of fire. The temple walls rise tall and pale, holding silence as a mother holds her child. The city outside hums with life, but here, within this circle of sacred stone, there is only peace. The Vestals were chosen as little girls. From noble families they were taken, lifted from the noise of childhood games, and placed in the arms of sacred duty. They came not as prisoners, but as dreamers of something greater. They left behind the world of ordinary days to enter a life wrapped in stillness, service, and devotion. Their task was simple, yet eternal. They tended the flame of Vesta, goddess of the hearth. This fire was no ordinary fire. It was the heartbeat of Rome. As long as it burned, the city was safe. As long as it glowed, the gods watched with favor. The girls, dressed in pure white robes, moved like moonlight across the stone floors. Their sandals whispered against marble, each step soft and measured. They carried small baskets of kindling, polished vessels of oil, and bowls of salt to feed the holy flame. Their hands were steady, their voices hushed. For the temple was not a place of chatter, it was a chamber of quiet breath. The silence of the Vestals was not empty, it was deep, like the stillness of a forest before dawn. In silence, they heard the soft crackle of the flame. In silence, they felt the warmth of the goddess near. In silence, they carried the weight of the eternal city. Some say silence is loneliness. But here, silence was a friend. It was a veil that protected them from the noise of life. It was a bridge that connected them to the divine. Each girl learned to listen, not with ears, but but with her whole being, to the rhythm of fire, to the beating of her own heart, to the quiet prayer hidden within her breath. Years passed slowly within the temple. Seasons turned outside its walls. Spring with blossoms, summer with heat, autumn with harvest, winter with frost. But inside the flame was always the same, unchanging, patient, a mirror of eternity. The Vestals gave themselves fully to this stillness. They were not wives, not mothers, not daughters of any one home. They belonged to the goddess alone. Their vow of purity was not a prison but a freedom. It freed them from the weight of worldly bonds. It gave them the rare gift of being devoted to nothing but spirit, nothing but flame. Imagine them beneath the soft Roman sky. Night falls over the city. The streets grow quiet. But in the temple, a faint glow flickers through the doorway. It is the sacred fire alive through the darkness. A young Vestal sits beside it, watching with calm eyes. The flame dances in her gaze, its golden light painting her face with warmth. Her lips do not move, but her heart whispers prayers that rise like smoke into the heavens. The city sleeps, but the Vestals remain. They keep their watch without complaint. Their silence holds the dreams of Rome. Their patience guards its future. Some nights the wind outside howls. Storms crash against the hills. Rain falls heavy upon the roofs. But within the temple, the flame does not falter. Hands steady and sure protect it. Salt is sprinkled. Logs are placed. Oil is poured. And the fire continues. Always it continues. The Vestals lived in service for 30 long years. 10 years in learning. 10 years in practice. 10 years in teaching the younger ones. And when their service ended, they stepped once more into the world. They carried silence within them, as if it had become part of their very bones. Even in the noise of Roman streets, their hearts remained temples. Even among crowds, they carried the flame within. The city revered them, for to harm a Vestal was to harm Rome itself. They were symbols of purity, of devotion, of balance. Their lives were gentle offerings to something greater than themselves. And so the people looked upon them with awe, with respect, with a quiet kind of love. The silence of the Vestal virgins was not the silence of emptiness. It was the silence of fullness, like a vessel filled with light, like a heart filled with stillness. It was a silence that carried weight, yet felt lighter than the wind. Now, as you drift with them through these ancient halls, notice the softness of the air. Notice the way the flame glows against marble walls. Notice the gentle steps of maidens, their robes flowing like rivers of moonlight. There is no need to hurry. There is no need to speak. Here, silence is enough. You may hear the faint hum of the city beyond the temple gates, but here it fades into nothing. Here the only sound is the whisper of fire, crackling, breathing, alive. The goddess Vesta does not appear in grand visions. She does not shout from the heavens. She speaks in warmth. She speaks in the gentle rising of smoke. She speaks in the silence that holds the world steady. Let yourself rest beside the flame. Let the warmth touch your skin. Let the silence wrap around you, like the robe of a Vestal. There is nothing to do, nothing to prove, only to be, only to breathe, only to glow softly like fire. The chapter of the Vestals is a chapter of peace. It teaches that service can be soft, that devotion can be quiet, that power can be held in silence. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest strength is not in noise or action, but in stillness, waiting, and care. Now, as the night deepens, the fire burns on. The Vestals tend to it with gentle hands. Their silence becomes your silence. Their stillness becomes your stillness. And slowly, you drift deeper into rest. The marble fades into dream. The flame becomes a soft glow behind your eyes. The silence deepens, like a river flowing into sleep. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the flame keeps watch. Now rest in the silence of the Vestal virgins. The night opens like a silver curtain. A moon rises over the hills of ancient Greece. Its light falls across olive groves, across winding paths, across forests where shadows gather like secrets. The air is warm yet soft. A distant flute drifts on the breeze. It is a song of welcome, a song of calling. In the moonlit glades, women gather. They wear flowing robes of pale white and deep purple, the colors of wine and mystery. Their hair is crowned with ivy and flowers, their feet bare upon the earth. They are the sacred wives of Dionysus, god of wine, god of joy, god of gentle madness. They are not wives in the way of households and families. They are brides of the spirit. They give themselves not to one man, but to the endless dance of life. They serve through laughter, through song, through the sweet abandon of freedom. Their vow is not silence, but celebration. Their temple is not marble stone, but the open sky. Their prayer is not spoken, it is sung, it is danced, it is breathed. Listen, the sound grows nearer. Drums beat low and steady, like the heartbeat of the earth. Flutes weave a melody of rising air. The women move in circles, their robes flowing like water, their shadows leaping like fire. Their voices rise together in soft chant, neither hurried nor loud, but flowing like a river of harmony. They call themselves the Maenads, the inspired ones, the chosen companions of the wandering god. Some call them wild, but here under the moon, they are gentle. Their dance is not frenzy, but release, a loosening of burdens, a letting go of sorrow. Every step they take frees the heart. Every note they sing lifts the soul. The sacred wives of Dionysus believe that laughter heals, and so their laughter drifts like bells across the night air. It rolls through the trees, light and soft. It mingles with the perfume of crushed grapes and wild herbs. It is laughter not of mockery, but of joy. Joy that rises from the simple knowing that life is sweet and the spirit cannot be caged. Their songs are prayers in disguise. They sing of the moon round and full. They sing of rivers endless in their journey. They sing of wine poured like blood from the earth, filling cups with warmth and light. Each note carries a blessing. Each word is a seed planted in the soil of the spirit. Those who listen, even from afar, feel something stir within, an awakening, a loosening, a remembering of freedom. The sacred wives carry torches, their flames swaying in rhythm with the music. The firelight touches their faces, soft and glowing. The night around them shimmers with gold and silver. The trees become pillars. The glade becomes a temple. The stars become their roof. As they move, they scatter leaves and petals across the ground. The earth receives these offerings with quiet gratitude, and in return, the earth lends them strength, lending the rhythm of its heartbeat to their feet. Imagine standing among them. The night is gentle. The air smells of pine and myrtle. The earth beneath your feet is cool, the sky above endless. The women's voices surround you, rising and falling like the waves of a calm sea. You feel safe here. You feel light. You feel free. The sacred wives do not speak of tomorrow. They do not carry the weight of what has been. They live only in the breath of now. This is their secret. This is their gift. In the presence of Dionysus, time itself softens. The mind quiets. The heart remembers how to dance. Wine is poured into clay cups. Its deep red shines in the torchlight. The women sip slowly, not to forget, but to remember the sweetness of being alive. The warmth spreads through their veins, gentle as a summer breeze. It loosens the body, softens the mind, opens the heart. One woman sings alone. Her voice is tender, like water falling from a spring. The others join, weaving harmonies around her as birds weave their voices at dawn. The sound fills the forest with peace. It is a lullaby for the world itself. Their devotion to Dionysus is devotion to life itself. He is the god of vines, of blooming fruit, of joy rising from sorrow. And they are his companions. They are the living flame of his spirit. Through their laughter, wounds heal. Through their music, hearts awaken. Through their dance, the soul remembers its freedom. The moon climbs higher. The stars watch in stillness. The sacred wives dance more slowly now. Their steps soften, their voices quiet. The torches glow steady, casting long shadows across the earth. The drums fade to a gentle beat, like a heartbeat slowing toward rest. They lie upon the grass, resting in circles, their heads crowned with ivy, their bodies wrapped in robes of light. The night cradles them. The earth holds them. The stars bless them. Their laughter fades into hums, their songs into whispers. Soon they are silent. Only the breath of sleep remains, and still the spirit of Dionysus lingers. It is in the quiet rustle of the leaves. It is in the soft perfume of wine spilled upon the earth. It is in the memory of laughter that hovers in the air like the last echo of a bell. Their devotion teaches that joy is sacred, that laughter is prayer, that freedom is holy. The sacred wives remind the world that the soul is not bound by sorrow, that the heart can be healed with song, with dance, with gentle release. Now, as you drift deeper into rest, the circle of women fades into dream. Their torches become stars above you. Their voices become a breeze upon your cheek. Their laughter becomes a soft murmur of your own heartbeat. Let the music carry you. Let the night embrace you. Let the sacred wives of Dionysus guide you into gentle sleep. The drums fade. The flutes fall silent. The torches dim. The moon remains, watching over all. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the night sings its quiet song. Now rest in the embrace of the sacred wives of Dionysus. The night begins in silence. A gentle hush lies over the valleys of Anatolia. The mountains rise like dark guardians, their peaks veiled in silver mist. The air is cool, filled with the faint scent of pine and earth. A crescent moon hangs above, and the stars scatter their soft light across the slopes. In this ancient land, the mother of mountains was loved. Her name was Cybele. She was the great mother, the one who gave life to forests, rivers, and stones. Her presence was felt in the rolling hills, in the thunder of storms, in the green shoots rising each spring. She was not far away, but close, dwelling in the pulse of the earth itself. Her priestesses were known as her mothers. They were women who gave themselves to her service, who carried her power in their voices, in their dances, in their devotion. They dressed in flowing robes of deep red and gold. Their hair was crowned with flowers and leaves, sometimes with small pieces of bronze that caught the firelight as they moved. They were not bound to homes or husbands, but to the wide sky, the valleys, and the holy mountains. When night fell, they would gather. Torches lined the paths that led upward to a stone altar, carved into the rock of the hillside. The fire burned brightly there, its light flickering across the ancient stone. The air would tremble with the soft hum of drums, their rhythm slow, steady, like the heartbeat of the land. The mothers of Cybele lifted their voices. At first, they sang low, their chants like whispers of the wind through trees. The sound was gentle, soothing, like a lullaby to the earth itself. But slowly the music grew stronger. The drums beat deeper, the flutes stretched their notes longer. The women's voices rose together, echoing across the valley like a river overflowing its banks. Their song was not sorrowful, nor was it wild rage. It was devotion, pure, unbroken, and alive. It was the call of daughters to their mother, the cry of children to the womb of the world. Every note was a thread weaving a bridge between earth and sky, between human hearts and the spirit of the mountains. The priestesses swayed as they sang. Their robes moved like flowing water, shimmering in the light of the torches. They clashed small bronze cymbals in their hands, bright sparks of sound against the deep pulse of the drums. Their hair caught the light as they spun, their crowns of flowers scattering petals into the air. The wind carried these petals downward into the valley, like blessings falling from unseen hands. To honor Cybele was to honor the mother in all things. The mothers saw her in the rising sun, warm and golden. They felt her in the rain, softening the soil. They knew her in the caves, in the hidden places of the mountains, where silence was thick and full. Every stone was her bone, every river was her blood, every tree was her breath. Imagine standing upon that hillside. The night sky above is wide and endless. The torches glow around you, their flames swaying in rhythm with the wind. The sound of the mother's voices surrounds you, strong yet soothing, like waves rolling gently to shore. Your heart softens as you listen. Your breath slows. You feel yourself as part of the earth itself, a child cradled in the arms of a great and gentle mother. The mothers did not pray with words alone. They prayed with movement. They stamped their feet upon the ground, calling life upward from the soil. They raised their arms to the sky, their fingers spread like branches of trees. They turned in circles, their robes fanning out around them, their voices lifting higher, blending with the sound of drums, flutes, and cymbals. Their devotion was not hidden. It poured outward, echoing through the valleys. Shepherds far below, tending their flocks, would hear the distant singing. Travelers passing through the hills would pause, listening, hearts stirred though they did not know why. The song of the mothers carried beyond language, beyond thought. It was felt, not explained. At times, their chants grew wild, their voices rising like storms, their movements faster, their cymbals striking harder. It was not chaos, but release. The letting go of sorrow, of weight, of silence that had grown too heavy. Then, as the drums softened, their voices fell back into calm, like rain easing after thunder. And in the stillness that followed, a peace deeper than silence lingered in the air. The mothers of Cybele were said to be healers of the heart. Through their devotion, they reminded people that life was cradled by a great love, that no one was truly alone, for the Mother of Mountains held all in her embrace. Their songs soothed grief. Their dances lifted weary spirits. Their rituals reminded the world that the earth itself was alive and that it listened. As the night deepened, the torches burned low. The stars brightened above, watching with quiet patience. The mothers gathered closer around the altar. Their voices lowered into soft hums, a sound like bees in a meadow, like wind through tall grass. They placed offerings upon the stone, bowls of milk, small loaves of bread, fragrant herbs, and wine poured gently onto the ground. The earth drank each gift in silence, and in that silence the mothers felt the presence of Cybele most strongly, for she was not in the thunder alone. She was in the hush that followed. She was in the warmth of the fire. She was in the softness of night. She was the womb from which all things came, and the arms that held all when they returned. Slowly the mothers lay upon the earth. Their robes spread around them like petals, their faces tilted toward the stars. Their breaths rose and fell in rhythm, steady and calm, as if the mountain itself breathed with them. The drums grew faint. The flutes fell silent. Only the heartbeat of the earth remained. In the quiet, the valley seemed to cradle them. The mountains stood like guardians, their shadows vast yet gentle. The stars above gleamed like watchful eyes. The earth below held them, safe and whole. In that stillness, their devotion was complete. And as you drift now, listening, the mothers' voices fade into dream. Their torches become distant stars. Their songs become a soft wind across your cheek. Their dance becomes the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The Great Mother cradles you too. Her mountains rise around you. Her rivers flow beneath you. Her stars shine above you. You are safe in her arms. You are a child of her endless love. Now let the night hold you. Let the mountains guard you. Let the Great Mother sing you to rest. Drift onward. Sleep deeply. Night falls gently upon the island of Cyprus. The sky holds the last colors of dusk, soft violets and fading gold. The sea lies still, a silver mirror stretching into the horizon. Waves touch the sand with a whisper, retreating like a breath, returning like another. Far above, the stars awaken slowly, one by one, as if carefully lit by unseen hands. And in the stillness, the island begins to glow with an old memory, one that belongs to both earth and sky. It is here, on these sacred shores, that the goddess of beauty and love is remembered. Aphrodite, born of foam, born of sea and light, whose presence softens every heart that calls to her. Tonight, in this chapter of dreams, we drift into her waters. We move with gentle footsteps, through the hush of night air, until we reach the springs where women once gathered. The waters are warm, clear and fragrant with the breath of flowers carried down from the hills. A temple lantern flickers at the edge, and the sound of a lyre drifts faintly in the distance. The women of Cyprus came here not only to cleanse their bodies, but to wash their spirits in the blessing of the goddess. They would step into the pool slowly, moonlight catching their faces, ripples forming halos around their shoulders. Some carried roses in their hands, their petals bright as dawn. Some carried small jars of oil to anoint the water, leaving circles of fragrance that danced upon the surface. In their silence, the sound of water itself became a hymn. Drops falling from stone, streams running softly, waves lapping nearby. Each movement was a prayer. Each gesture was a quiet offering. They whispered names of those they loved. They whispered wishes for peace, for harmony, for tenderness to flow like a river between hearts. Their voices blended with the night air, rising like smoke, carried by the stars above. The myth of Aphrodite tells that she was born from the sea itself. From the foam of waves, she emerged radiant and untouched, a vision of eternal grace. She did not walk into the world with fire or thunder. She arrived with softness, with beauty, with a promise of connection. Her gift was not power over others, but the weaving of souls together. Through her, the gaze of lovers became sacred. Through her, the touch of hands became a blessing. Through her, even silence between two people could hold the weight of eternity. The springs in Cyprus carried this memory. Every drop was said to hold her first breath, every ripple her laughter. And those who bathed in these waters felt a nearness to the goddess, as though they were stepping into the heart of love itself. The priestesses of Aphrodite guarded the temple near the springs. They wore robes of pale linen and flowers woven into their hair. They spoke gently, as if their voices were streams, never rushing, never harsh. Their role was not to command, but to remind. They reminded each pilgrim that love is both delicate and strong, like water flowing between rocks. When night fell, the priestesses would sing. Their song was not loud, but low and steady, like a mother humming to her child. The melody carried across the valley, down to the sea, across the foam, until it seemed the ocean itself was answering. It was said that Aphrodite listened, that her spirit stirred with the sound, and that she blessed the island in return. Imagine now that you stand at the edge of the pool. The moon hangs above, full and serene. The water glows silver, moving in circles as if it knows your breath. You step forward, the stone cool beneath your feet, and the warmth of the water greets you like an embrace. It slides gently around your ankles. It climbs slowly to your knees. Every ripple is soft, like a hand smoothing over your skin. And as you sink deeper, the weight of the day begins to dissolve. All that remains is the hush of water, the glow of stars, the memory of love. You close your eyes. You hear the whisper of women praying beside you. Their words are not sharp or demanding. They are tender, like threads weaving a fabric of care. Their voices carry blessings, not only for themselves, but for every heart that drifts upon this earth. The rites of Aphrodite were gentle, yet powerful. They were not about conquest or victory. They were about remembrance, to remember that beauty is not in the mirror, but in the way a spirit shines through the eyes, to remember that love is not possession, but presence, to remember that every soul longs for union, like rivers longing for the sea. These lessons flowed through the springs like a secret current. The women who emerged from the waters carried them home. They carried them in their smiles, in their gestures, in the way they touched the hands of their children, their friends, their beloved. They did not need to speak of it. The water itself had spoken for them. Beyond the temple, the island slept. Olive trees bent under the weight of night air. Figs ripened in silence. Winds moved across the hills, carrying the faint song of the priestesses outward, across fields, across waves, into the endless sky. In dreams, the goddess walked barefoot along the shore. Her feet left no mark. Her presence was like the sea breeze, felt but unseen. She touched the hearts of those who longed for her, not with words, but with stillness. And in that stillness they found peace. Their chants were low, steady, flowing like water across stone. Not cries of fear, but prayers of peace. They asked for safe passage for travelers. They asked for dreams free of shadow. They asked for protection for the souls wandering between worlds, and for those lying in sleep, drifting through unseen paths. Hecate was not only the goddess of crossroads, but of thresholds. She watched over the places in between waking and sleep, between day and night, between life and death. Her presence was a gentle guide, a lantern lifted in the deepest dark. The women's torches glowed against the blackness. Their flames bent in the wind, yet did not go out. Each step carried light forward, as though the earth itself was being softly lit, path by path, until the whole crossing seemed to shimmer. The night was no longer empty. It was alive, filled with the hum of voices, the warmth of fire, the unseen presence of the goddess herself. They called her Epiphania, the one who appears. For though unseen to mortal eyes, she was felt, in the hush between chants, in the sudden stillness of the air, in the quiet certainty that one was never alone, even in the loneliest hour of night. Stories whispered that Hecate walked with dogs at her side, their paws silent upon the earth. The women listened for faint howls carried on the wind, believing these were her messengers, her companions in shadow. But the sound was never frightening. It was comforting, like guardians keeping watch beyond the veil of sight. When the chants ended, the women placed their offerings at the altar. Bread broken and set upon the stone, bowls of honey and milk poured with care. Sometimes black cakes, baked in the glow of hearths, were left as tokens of devotion. Each gift shimmered under torchlight, glowing like small moons in the night. They prayed not only for the living. They prayed for souls wandering unseen paths, for those who had departed the world yet lingered in memory. They prayed that Hecate would guide them gently, carrying her torch before them, showing the way across hidden rivers and silent gates. Their voices were tender, never fearful, for they trusted her light to reach where theirs could not. The night deepened, the stars above multiplying in number, their glow mirrored in the flames below. The women's circle became like the heavens themselves. Fire above, fire below, all joined in harmony. The goddess, they believed, stood at the center, between earth and sky, her torches raised, her gaze kind. The crossroads held meaning beyond travel. It was the place of choice, of direction, of paths yet to be walked. To honor Hecate was to honor the mystery of choice itself, the courage to step forward, the patience to wait, the trust to walk even when the way was dark. Every prayer was a reminder that no traveler walked alone. Every flame was a promise that light could always be found. Now imagine yourself there. You stand at the edge of the crossing. The torches flicker, their warmth brushing your face. The women chant, their voices low, weaving around you like a cloak of sound. The altar gleams in the distance, and you feel the hush of the night settle upon your shoulders. You hold a small offering in your hands. Perhaps it is bread, perhaps a flower, perhaps only a whisper. You place it upon the stone, the gift leaving your fingers gently, as though the earth itself has received it. The torchlight glows brighter for a moment, and you sense the presence of the goddess, not as something distant, but as warmth close by, guiding, steady. The chants fade. The torches lower. The women turn, their steps slow, their faces serene in the moonlight. One by one, they leave the crossing behind, letting silence return. Yet the altar remains, glowing softly with gifts, surrounded by the memory of voices. The road stretches out, quiet and safe. The wind carries the last notes of song into the trees. The night is still, but it no longer feels empty. It feels alive, filled with unseen company, watched over by a steady flame. Hecate's presence lingers at every threshold. She is the soft light when you dream. She is the calm voice when you drift between thought and silence. She is the guide when your path feels uncertain. And though her night is deep, it is never without stars, never without torches, never without the promise of safety. Now let your mind rest upon this vision. The crossroads shines with gentle fire. The chants dissolve into the rhythm of your own breath. The goddess stands with her torches, steady as the moon above. You are safe in her light. You are guided in her care. Let the story soften. Let the night carry you deeper. Let the torches fade into the stars. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the night of Hecate watches over you. The night is soft. A veil of stillness rests across the world. The stars scatter above like grains of salt spilled upon black silk. The air is gentle, cool against the skin, carrying the faint fragrance of night blossoms. In this calm, the spirit leans closer to ancient memory. It listens. It drifts. This chapter is not a single story, but a circle. A circle of women, sacred and timeless. Some walked deserts. Some lived within forests. Some rose by the sea, crowned by waves and winds. Though their names differ, their essence is one. The eternal feminine, present across ages, across lands, across dream and prayer. At the circle's beginning stands Inanna, queen of heaven and earth. Her crown of stars gleams in the quiet night. She carries the power of descent and return, teaching that every journey into shadow can lead again to light. Her voice is low, like a hum beneath the earth, steady as the roots of the oldest tree. Through her, one learns the rhythm of endings and beginnings, the gentle promise that no darkness lasts forever. Beside her walks Isis of the Nile. Her robes move like flowing water, her wings stretching wide as the horizon. She is the healer, the gatherer of broken pieces, the mother who never abandons. Her presence is warm, like the sun rising after a cool night. She whispers of love that protects, of bonds that endure, of a devotion that shines through every loss. And there, in the soft glow of moonlight, Persephone appears, a maiden who became queen. She carries seeds of pomegranate in her palm, small rubies that glimmer in the dark. Her story is one of return, of cycles that move between shadow and light. She reminds the dreamer that even in the deepest winter, spring waits quietly, patient beneath the soil. The circle widens. Across the sands of Arabia walks Al-Lat, ancient mother of tribes. She carries the silence of deserts, vast and unbroken, yet filled with hidden life. Her gaze is steady, like the moon that watches over wandering caravans. She teaches endurance, the peace of moving slowly, the blessing of finding water where none was thought to be. In the forests of the far north, one sees Freya, golden-haired, her cloak woven with feathers. She walks with cats at her side, symbols of mystery and softness. Her gift is beauty that does not fade, passion that does not burn away, love that holds courage within it. She offers the comfort of song, the lilt of lullabies carried across meadows, calming even the restless heart. Farther still, across oceans, rises Amaterasu, the shining sun goddess of Japan. Her light is pure, not harsh, but golden and warm. She steps gently from her hidden cave, blessing the world with morning. Her presence carries the quiet assurance that dawn will always return. Through her, the dreamer rests in the rhythm of time itself, night softening into day, and day into night again. The circle continues to turn. Kali of India appears fierce yet protective. Her dance is both wild and tender, the dance of change. Though her image may seem daunting, her heart is motherly, defending her children from harm. She clears away the old, making space for peace to grow. Her presence is like a storm that passes, leaving the air refreshed and the earth renewed. By the side of flowing rivers, one feels the nearness of Oshun, goddess of love and sweet waters. Her laughter ripples like golden streams. Her hands scatter blossoms upon the tide. She brings joy, beauty, and gentle prosperity. Her waters soothe the weary, washing away heaviness, leaving the spirit light and calm. In the high mountains of the Andes, Pachamama watches with quiet strength. Her body is the land itself, valleys, rivers, and fertile fields. She is the mother who gives sustenance, who carries the world within her embrace. Her presence is grounding, like bare feet upon soft soil, reminding the dreamer that rest is a return to the earth. And still the circle turns. The feminine is not bound by one face, one voice, one land. She is the breath of wind in trees. She is the still water reflecting stars. She is the gentle hand of night, laying quiet across the restless heart. In every culture, in every age, she has been present, nurturing, guiding, healing, reminding. The eternal circle is a mirror of the moon, waxing and waning, yet always returning. It is the circle of seasons, the turn from cold to warmth, from seed to harvest. It is the circle of birth, growth, rest, and renewal. All who enter this circle are comforted, for it has no end, no edge, no fear, only a soft rhythm steady as breath. Now imagine the circle closing gently around you. You sit at its center, quiet, calm. The goddesses and sacred women stand at the edges, their presence felt like a ring of lanterns in the night. Each one glows with a different light, some golden, some silver, some deep as the blue of oceans. Their voices hum together, not loud, but soothing, a song made only of warmth. You feel their protection, their guidance, their kindness. It does not weigh heavy. It drifts like silk, like moonlight across water. Each breath you take becomes part of their rhythm. Each heartbeat joins their circle. You are not alone. You are never alone. The eternal feminine cradles you as you drift deeper. She whispers through leaves, through waves, through stars above your resting place. Her presence is everywhere, timeless, without beginning or end. The night grows softer now. The circle begins to fade into dream. The goddesses step back into their realms, deserts, forests, rivers, mountains. But their essence remains close, watching, steady. The circle never truly closes. It lives in memory, in heart, in breath. Let yourself sink into this circle. Let the voices dissolve into quiet. Let the stars above guide your spirit into stillness. Now rest as the night itself becomes your companion. Now drift as the eternal feminine keeps watch. Now sleep in the circle that never ends.